While Bill's just changing over the slide presentation, I'm Ian Jones. As Vivian's already told you, I'm her husband. Normally she seeks to conceal that fact, but on this occasion she's been forced to reveal it. So there we are. I'm also going to tell you that today is my birthday. And earlier on I said to Vivian, have you arranged anything? And she said, yeah, I've got a few people together you might like to meet. So here we are. My job this evening is to tell you about the Starfields Action Group, and I'm hoping that this is not too subtle for you in terms of what the aim of the Starfields Action Group is. This is not art, design or production. The gentleman over there produced this, and we might hear from him later on, but that is what we are about. We have set up the Starfields Action Group. Why? I'm going to explain why to you, I'm going to explain who we are and what we are. Who we are, well, by the end of the evening, I hope that who we are is going to be most, if not everybody, in this church at the moment. We have circulated a document inviting you to sign up to STAG if you wish to do so. Please fill that thing in. I'll come back to that in a little while. More specifically, who we are in terms of setting it up. Well, 4 of us set the thing up to get it off the ground, and we're 4 people with a fairly naked interest in the Starfields. Vivian and I live on Station Road, between the station and the racecourse. Andrea Watson here is another founder member that lives in the Oast House, which is hard on the edge of the Starfield development. Her brother-in-law, Christopher Adam, who also lives at the Oast House, and Liz Lockwood, who many of you will know is a councillor who's heavily involved in issues locally. So that's who we are at started. What are we aiming to be? Well, we're aiming to be, frankly, a pretty nakedly focused organisation that is opposed to the development on the Starfield site. And I will tell you why in a moment. What is wrong, you might say, with the Parish Council and the Neighbourhood Plan doing all of that? Well, that is fine. In a sense, the Parish Council and the Neighbourhood Plan, and I'm involved with the Neighbourhood Plan, have a wider responsibility to try and demonstrate a balanced approach to all of these things and perhaps take a more even-handed approach to things. We are quite straightforward. We think that Starfields is a very bad site to choose to develop within Lingfield. And why? I suppose the fact of the matter is we were quite angry about this proposal, partly because we think it is perhaps the worst site in Lingfield for development, and partly because of the rather sneaky way that Tandridge District Council sought to bring this forward by carrying out consultations that appeared initially to dismiss the site and then to reintroduce it at the last minute, seemingly at a point beyond that at which we could properly oppose it. Why do we actually oppose the site? Well, as Andrea and Vivian have already touched upon, Starfield is right at the heart of the oldest part of this village. If Lingfield has a distinctive character, is that it's a rural village, it's a rural community. Sorry, I'm afraid to turn the slides over. Pressing the wrong button at the moment, there you go. It makes all the difference if you press the right button, I've discovered. That's the problem with technology. So why are we opposing it? Well, you have them summarised on this slide here. As I say, if Lingfield is anything, it is a rural community. And in a rural community, green space is part of what characterised it. It gives the character to Lingfield. It's the nature of this village that we live in. Starfield itself, as it says, provides a setting for the historic sites in the village. Andrea has already mentioned a number of them. If this development were to go ahead, it would effectively obliterate the views across Lingfield of these sites. It would be hugely destructive to the nature and presentation of this village. In short, if we were to see Starfields going ahead, I think we'd be on the road to turning into another town.